Hi, haven't done an in-car video for a while, but provoked to do so by a very interesting phone call and one of my team badgering me to do a video on this subject. And that's about toxic positivity. And what I mean by that is being told you're meant to be positive and happy all of the time, which is not possible. Let's be absolutely straight, not possible, but also it's not wanted. Now, when you're feeling stressed and you're feeling fearful, you want to be happy, you want to be positive, you want things to be okay, which is, of course, sensible. But it denies the fact that some of the best breakthroughs, some of the best ideas, some of the most brilliant action happens when we have a problem. Just think of a sports team who are getting beaten and then they redouble their efforts. They find a way to work at a better level. Think of some of the most amazing experiments in the world have come from trying to solve a problem. Some of the best inventions in the world have come from someone identifying a problem and thinking, I need to deal with that. So it's toxic positivity, as my colleague, she was saying, was it's almost like you get brainwashed by people to say you've always got to be positive all of the time. But actually, fear and anger and even sadness are there for a reason. Now, we don't want to get stuck in them. And if you've seen any of my videos about sabotage loops, that's when we go to the other end of the scale and we get stuck in feeling down and can't do, and we don't value ourselves on what we do. But toxic positivity says, and my client I was just speaking to earlier, just before this video that prompted this call, was they felt guilty. They felt guilty for not being positive. They should be doing it better because they'd been on the training course and they were told to be positive. So sometimes, and I say this when I'm speaking to people that are thinking of working with me, I say the thing you have to be is actually frustrated. You have to be fed up and frustrated with your situation and say, I'm going to deal with that. So it comes from a point of pain. It comes from a point of not being happy, where you say, I'm going to do something that I've never done before, perhaps something that's a bit scary, perhaps something that, it takes you out your comfort zone, which then leads to the result and you feel pleased with yourself. So I suppose this short video is just about one thing. Don't buy into the BS of 100% positivity, 100% confidence, because you're meant to lose confidence, for example, when you make a serious decision. What I mean by that is, when you're thinking about making a serious decision, something important, you're meant to stop and go, is that right? Should I do this? And you're meant to have that loss of confidence, just so you examine before you jump in. Both when it's a problem and when it's something you really want to do. So you stop going, wish I'd thought about that a little bit more. That's the point of losing confidence. That's the point of not being positive about looking for problems, for loopholes. But I work with so many people who say they've jumped into things and they didn't think about it because, they get caught up in, this is brilliant, let's do it. And then they just forgot to think about it and go, actually, no, there's a hole in this plan that we can't do this bit. And they only find out after they committed and spent the money or whatever they did. And that's just as bad as not doing anything because you're so fearful all of the time. So as usual in life, as much as we're taught, to be, an extremism of anything has its drawbacks, when we can move around between time to be positive, time to be critical, time to be a bit fearful, time to examine, time to be motivated, enthusiastic. When you can use both, especially if you're a leader or manager, even if it's yourself, when you can use both forms of motivation, amazing things happen. So, I just want to shout out that if you feel guilty that you should be more positive, actually, the thing to do is ask, why do you not want to be? Why does your brain want to be overly fearful? Why does it want you to examine and hold back and procrastinate? Because procrastination at the right time and the right place is a good thing. It's when we excessively do it's the problem. So that's what I just want to talk about. It's an understanding that being positive and forward thinking is absolutely brilliant, but it's also useful to look over your shoulder and go, is this the right thing? Is this going to be a problem? And when you can do both, you can use both sets of motivation. And anybody tells you that you're meant to be absolutely 100% positive all of the time is denying reality that sometimes some of the best ideas and best movements forward comes from solving problems. So use both. So if you think, please don't, as my client said, I feel guilty about not being positive. Dump that nonsense that you've been taught. Just someone's taught you some nonsense. If you are extremely fearful or extremely doubtful way too much, well, dump that too. And if you need a hand with that, give me a shout, because that's what we do here, Certain Change. The first thing we do with most of our clients, get them out of their own way so they can see clearly then how to move forward and be actually naturally more positive without it being over the top. So yeah, just a shout out about the danger of ridiculous toxic positivity. It's good to smile, it's good to have fun, it's good to enjoy stuff, but yeah, and then it's also useful, even though it's less pleasant, to go, yeah, let's make sure I don't make a mistake, let's make sure I don't mess up. The only thing you don't want to do is don't want to be stuck at the two extremes. It's like there's a load of space in the middle so you can get the best out of both. Anyway, thanks for your time. I hope it's been useful to you. Give me a shout if you need some help. Take care.